YouTube Live. We will be going live here in just a second. Thank you for hanging with me for just a moment. We'll talk about the Thunder versus Kings and the tragedy that was. Got about just a few more seconds here, and we'll be ready to go. If you were watching that tragedy, though, you've got to comment. You've got to let me know what you thought. All right, here we go. All right. Crossover radio broadcasting live for this Thunder recap. Man, that was a rough game. I don't know about you guys, but that was pretty bad. I don't even know where to start. The play was so terrible. It was bad. Like, where do you even start? I just don't know. If you want to start with Russ, or PG, or Melo, you can start there. But it was just bad. I mean, it was really, really bad. The whole thing. Incredibly bad. And then you still have missed free throws by guys who should not miss free throws. It was bad. If you watched that game, I want to know your thoughts because that was pretty rough. If you are listening on YouTube Live, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate that. If you are listening on the app, though, man, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for your support. And if you do not have the app yet, you got to get the app. It's incredible. But as far as the Thunder versus Kings, I'm just trying to figure out now, where did the Thunder go? Can you get any lower than losing to the Kings? Maybe if it were the Kings with DeMarcus Cousins, and all of you who have watched me before, you know how I feel about DeMarcus Cousins. He's bad. But it was bad. I mean, just absolutely incredibly bad. I mean, neither team went over 100, which in today's NBA is not good. Normally that's bad offense. And as weird as it is to say that the Thunder played bad defense toward the end when they didn't even allow more than 100 points, it sounds weird, but it's true. They didn't play good defense. I don't even know what they were doing. When they needed clutch stops, they didn't capitalize. They had a few here and there. They made it close. It was a 3-point game with about 17 seconds. But it's too little too late. Too little too late. So if you have any thoughts on that, we'd really love to know where you're at as a state of mind regarding this team, because it was awful. Absolutely awful. If you're on YouTube, definitely drop me some comments on the video. Would love to hear from you for sure. I know that the video is coming in a little bit choppy, so sorry about that. We'll see if we can get that cleared up going forward. But man, just still, I want to know. I want to know where everyone's at on this. If you're listening on the app, definitely Send in your text. You can send it to 405-494-0234. But that was just bad. I don't know what else to say about it. You lost to the Kings, who have George Hill and old Zach Randolph and old Vince Carter. And that's it. I mean, you got Buddy Hield. I love Buddy Hield as a player. I think he will continue to be a very good player in the NBA, and he will start for a lot of teams, and he may wind up having 1 or 2 years where he averages 20 points a game or more. But he's not a superstar. He's not PG. He's not Melo. He's not Russ. I'm curious what those guys are saying in the locker room right now. Right now. Because it's bad. It's just really, really bad. It was really bad play. And I don't know how to feel as a Thunder fan. I mean, I want to be up on them. I understand this is only the 10th game. There's still 71 more games. Sorry, 72. If I could math, that would be great. But it's incredibly discouraging to see them play like this. Now, do I think that they'll get the ship righted and they'll play better by the end of the year? I think so. But, man, it's rough goings right now. It's rough goings. We'll have to see what Donovan can do as well. I think we're going to see a lot from Donovan at this point. Donovan has, last year he got kind of a pass because it was Westbrook and everyone else. This year, yeah, you get a pass for a few games because, you know what, new team, lots of new faces, everyone's got a gel. I just don't know if he's going to make it work. And this is his 3rd year. His first year went to the Western Conference Finals. And yes, I put 99% of the blame on the players because Westbrook and Durant didn't show up against Golden State at the very end of Game 6 nor Game 7. But still, as coach, you still shoulder some of that. And then the next year with Westbrook, you guys do pretty well. Pretty well, given the situation. Durant leaves. You really built the team to have Durant. It was nasty. But you still performed badly in the playoffs against the Rockets. And then this year, now you have these 3 superstars. You got to show me more. And so I think there's a lot of blame to be shifted. There's a lot of blame to go around. I don't know if Donovan's going to be able to fix this. Just what I've seen from his personality, what I've seen from the kind of coach he wants to be and who he is, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to fix it. If it were someone like a Popovich, even if it were someone like an Eric Spoelstra, I think Eric Spoelstra had a really strong voice whenever he had his big 3. But let's talk about that big 3. When we're talking about this big 3 and how it will take time to gel, let's compare it to the other 3. Well, let's do this first. We're going to roll to a break. When we get back, we will talk about the comparisons between our big 3 with Melo, PG, Westbrook, and compare it to the big 3 of LeBron, Wade, and James. So LeBron, Wade, and Chris Bosh. We'll compare those right when we get back. So we're gonna roll real quick to a word from our sponsors, those whom we appreciate so much for helping us keep everything on the air and keep the station running, keep the ministry running, and we will be right back after these messages. All right, stick with me, YouTube. We will be right back. We're gonna get everything up and running, talking about the comparison between the two big three sets. But I want to hear your thoughts. Send it to me, and would definitely love to know your thoughts very much. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. Hopefully, everyone caught the debut of Thunder Things by the Thunder guys this afternoon or evening. Airs every Tuesday night from 5 to 6. You need to check it out. It is awesome. Oh, and one more thing. If you're on YouTube Live, you need to subscribe right now. And if you've already subscribed, you need to tell all your friends, all your family about us, and tell them to go to our YouTube channel and subscribe to us. If they don't have an account, they can set up a Gmail account or a Google account quickly and easily. Really awesome stuff. And then they can subscribe. They can always know whenever we have new shows on, new videos on, all that kind of stuff. Getting messages from my man Jayco. All right, about to go live. All right, we are back on Crossover Radio with this Thunder versus Kings live recap, kind of a special recap. I know you're like, why would you choose the Thunder versus Kings? Actually, just kind of doing a dry run for a remote setup tomorrow morning for my show, Higher Tech. Airs every Wednesday morning from 7 to 8:30 a.m. You got to check it out. It's really good stuff. You can get all kinds of technology advice and technology help. You can even send me questions live while I'm on the air, and I will do my very best to answer that for you and get an answer for you nonetheless. That way I can help you out and give you free technology consultation, free technology advice, and help. That's the main purpose of that show, is to be able to help churches, ministries, businesses, and even individuals. That way you can get your technology needs helped. So you got to check that out. So just doing a dry run with a Thunder recap, but man, that game, it was pretty weak. It was pretty weak stuff. Yeah, I in fact getting a message from Gabriel, says the Thunder need to wake up. We have to wait and see how the OKC Big Three plays, and that the NBA is rigged. We got to talk about that flagrant one. Despite the fact that I think it was bad play from the Thunder that lost the game, that flagrant one was bad. It was bad. It was just absolutely terrible call. And I think that's what you're referencing, Gabriel. If not, let me know what else you thought was rigged. But we have now a flagrant 2 against Anthony. Now we got a flagrant 1 that happened against Russ. That was it was a bad call, in my opinion. But let me know if there was something else you saw as well, because it's been pretty bad officiating. It's been pretty bad officiating this year up to this point. We'll see what happens. But you're right. We do have to wait and see how the OKC Big Three plays, and we'll see what happens there. I think that they'll put it together. I really do. But there are concerns. There are legitimate concerns. And like Gabriel said, yeah, that's what he meant by the NBA being rigged. It was a bad call. I normally don't like listening to the Thunder broadcast team because I feel like they're a little bit too much in the camp of the Thunder. As weird as that is to say, I know people are like, well, they're their employers. Yeah, but if you listen to other broadcasts, it's not always as overly in favor of the home team. But you know, it is what it is. But I think they were right. I think they were right. It was bad. Bottom line, it was bad. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I just really hope, really hope that they can get everything together. Because right now, it's poor play. It's poor play. I don't think there's any other way to say it. It's just really poor play. And for them to be able to overcome, and for them to be able to progress in their season, and not lose heart as a team and as a unit, not to avoid confrontation, all these things, they've got to put it together. They've got to win. They've got to put together at least 3 quarters of consistent basketball. 4 would be incredible. And whenever we have seen that, the few times we have, it's been incredible. But we just don't see it very often. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But it is just, it's very disheartening. Very disheartening. As far as the comparison, okay, let's get into the comparison. If you're talking about the big 3, okay, the ones who kind of, Boston started this whole thing whenever they acquired Ray Allen. They acquired Kevin Garnett to pair with Paul Pierce. They started this whole thing with the big 3. At that point, Miami got its own big 3. So Miami goes out. They already have Wade. Wade recruits James with the infamous decision with the big spectacle that he did with that show. And then you have Bosch, and he joins them. It took them a little bit to gel. It really did. In fact, they started, let's see here. There we go. Perfect. That's what I wanted. They started 6-4. 6-4. It was not a great start. Their entire year, they went 58-24. And they lost the NBA Finals. Now the next year, they actually won it against the Thunder. It would be an ironic twist if the Thunder go about 58-24, which a lot of people have them at 58 wins. But it would be an ironic twist for the Thunder to go 58-24, possibly make it to the Western Conference Finals or the NBA Finals, lose, and then the next year, if they all re-up, then they go and they win it. But I think for George and Anthony to stay, they have to at least push Golden State to the brink in the Western Conference Finals. Because make no joke about it, the Warriors are going to be in the Western Conference Finals, even if they lose one of their big 3.5. I count Draymond as a half. No, I think he makes a lot of that team go, but he's not the firepower. But that's not always the most important part. And he fills a great role for them. But bottom line, they've got to push Golden State to the brink in the Western Conference Finals for Anthony and George to re-up there. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. They're just not. Now, maybe George will. Maybe Anthony will, so he can take the money because he has a player option. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think it'll be really, really interesting to see what happens at the end of this year. I don't want to fast track that too much. I want to enjoy the season. I think there's going to be some things for us to look forward to, but we're experiencing a low. It's a valley right now. It's pretty bad. We have the same record as the Miami Heat of this year, 4-6. Yikes, not good. But the original big three in Miami, they started off poorly. They started off really, really poorly, and it's something to definitely keep in mind, and to recognize that whenever you get an assembly of talent, it's not always a given that it's going to click immediately. The Celtics clicked pretty quick. It didn't take very long. The Thunder, taking a while. The Heat, taking a while. It took them a while. And then as far as the Warriors, well, their team was already assembled. All they did was add a piece in that they knew, hey, this is a great fit. Where it's going to flow. He doesn't want pressure. Talking about Durant, he wants to be able to have open shots. All of that worked, and so it was fun. It worked out well. Let me read off what happened with the big three. Okay, in their first, let's go their first 17 games. They started off with a loss against the Boston Celtics, who I believe still had their big three. Then they won 4 straight. We didn't see that here. Understandable. But then they lost. Then they won. They're at 5-2. They dropped 2 straight, 5-4. Then they won 3 in a row to go to 8-4. Here's the part you want to listen to, Thunder fans. The Miami Heat, after they were 8-4, people were probably thinking, they've got it. They've got it figured out. They went 4 out of the next 5 in the loss column. They were 9-8 after 17 games. Now, after that, they went on a 12-game win streak. Do I think that the Thunder will do that? No. But do I think that they could do that? Yes. We have seen these moments of brilliant play, great defense, great offense. And I think that's what we got to look forward to. All right, it's been fun doing a recap with you. Thank you, everyone that has listened, and thank you so much for the comments as well. Appreciate that, Gabriel, and appreciate everyone watching. I hope everyone has a great night. And hey, catch the show tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. To 8:30. If you don't get up that early, but you get up around 8, just turn it on then. Would really appreciate that. And I think you'll get a lot out of it. And it'd be a really, really good thing for you. Just to get some extra tech help that you don't have to pay for and really don't have to do too much research for. You just listen. So if you have any questions for that as well, feel free to send them to me when we're in the middle of our broadcast. Thank you so much. Have a great night.